President Obama at the College of Charleston, he gave a speech which is being really widely praised, and I would recommend to all of you to watch it. I watched it sort of half-heartedly and then rewatched it again. I'm going to concede that it's very hard for me to get enthusiastic about a speech that Obama gives at this point. Fool me once, shame on me, right? But this speech was really impressive. And it was a fascinating speech on race in some ways, but his use of basically cloaking a political agenda in, I guess, some form of Christian theology. Now, as a non-Christian, I don't, none of this had that sort of the visceral reaction or visceral punch that it has, I think, for some Christians. And largely speaking, I think it's a little bit of a shame that we need to have a Christian context or a religious context in which to deliver this type of message. But it seemed appropriate since he was eulogizing a pastor. And I got to say, for a secret Muslim, he has really gone the distance in adopting this Christian cloak.
It's like training to throw an opening pitch in baseball. You know, if you're bad at that, like when the president has to throw an opening pitch, he really has had to train.
That's right.
Christian
overly
arm.
Trained.
Yes.
But it really is amazing. And he gave a speech, and we're going to play this clip of him singing Amazing Grace. He gave a speech where throughout he used the dynamic in this song as a way of pushing what I don't think is a terribly controversial political agenda, but certainly is controversial in parts of this country. The words of Amazing Grace, I think you probably know, start with, was blind, but now I see. Well, as he was talking about this murder of this pastor and 8 parishioners, he referred to the murderer as presuming that his killing would deepen divisions that trace back to our nation's original sin. Just even using the term original sin, you'll hear political scientists refer to it as the original sin of America. It is obviously a religious term. Much of this speech is hard to attack, I think, for Republicans because it is couched in this language. He said that the alleged killer would never have anticipated the way that the families of the fallen would respond when they saw him in court in the midst of unspeakable grief with words of forgiveness. He couldn't imagine that. He couldn't imagine how the state of South Carolina, how the United States of America would respond, not merely with revulsion at his evil act, but with a big-hearted generosity, and more importantly, with a thoughtful introspection and self-examination we so rarely see in public life. This is a reference to, hey, all these icons of racism that still remain in positions of authority and are praised. We should really contemplate that. And this is where he gets into the sort of structure of the song. Blinded by hatred, he failed to comprehend what Reverend Pinckney, this is the pastor who was murdered, so well understood, the power of God's grace. He goes on to say, for too long we've been blind to the unique mayhem that gun violence inflicts upon this nation. The vast majority of Americans, the majority of gun owners, want to do something about this. We see that now. So he's using Amazing Grace. For many, black and white, the flag was a reminder of a systemic oppression and racial subjugation. We see that now. We were blind to a problem. So let's play this song. Sorry. Let's play this President Obama. And I imagine this is planned, but I don't know. I guess the organ player said that he was not told of it. And he just started playing at different points during the speech, too. It's pretty amazing. But here is President Obama singing Amazing Grace.
Amazing grace. Amazing grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was Clementa Pinckney found that grace. Cynthia Hurd found that grace. Susie Jackson found that grace. Ethel Lance found that grace. The Payne Middleton doctor found that grace. Tywanza Sanders found that grace. Daniel L. Simmons Sr. found that grace. Sharonda Coleman Singleton found that grace. Myra Thompson found that grace. Through the example of their lives, they've now passed it on to us.
And there you have it. It's an amazing speech. You should watch it. I mean, like I say, with those caveats in mind, it's hard to know what the value of a speech like that is in the broader political context. But it was interesting to note. I think James Fallows, did a great piece on all of this. It was interesting to note how he used to use the word "we" at different times, identifying with the black community in a way that you haven't necessarily heard him do. But too often, I should say. All right.